I've been wanting to talk about Koi no Katachi ever since I saw it on theaters in my country. It's an outstandingly quiet but emotional film. It's not just some romance story, it's about regret, depression, bullying, and the importance of communication. I've originally wanted to talk about Koi no Katachi's take on communication, or how the use of visual storytelling is perfect for a film in which silence plays a big role. But sadly, better and more suited people have already talked about these things in depth, which is understandable since the film is already half a year old. So I've decided to talk about something that, to my knowledge, has not been discussed yet on YouTube, and that would be the intro scenes and how they connect with the ending. Particularly two intro scenes, the flashback scene and the suicide scene. Oh, spoilers by the way. I'm going to go a bit out of order and analyze the second intro first because I want to start from where the characters' story truly began. It starts off with Kid Ishida going on his daily life to the tune of The Who's My Generation. Fun fact, The Who's singer Pete Townshend actually became partially deaf. Not sure if that adds more depth, but like what I said, it's just a fun fact. Now, the point of this scene, aside from foreshadowing Nishimiya being bullied, is to show the regular life of Ishida, what is the norm for him. Then Nishimiya enters the scene, changing Ishida and his classmates' way of living. Because she is getting in the way and establishing change to their lifestyle, she gets ignored. She wants to understand her classmates, but they reject that desire of hers, symbolized by the throwing of her means of communication to the water, which are her notebook and her hearing aids. She even throws herself to the water, symbolizing that the one who rejects her the most is not the others, but herself. When the bullying incident was recognized, the blame was put on Ishida, and then he got rejected, once again symbolized by being thrown to the water. His voice was made silent, and he made the voices of the people silent as well. He became what Nishimiya is, deaf. Not physically, but socially. Later on in the movie, we see this conflict brought up again, but this time Ishida puts a barrier against his friends in favor of understanding just Nishimiya. I like this sequence because it shows us the true conflict of the story. It's not the struggle to understand a single person, but the barriers we place on people, which makes it hard to understand them. That's why the movie didn't end with Ishida happily understanding just Nishimiya, but it ended with Ishida removing the barriers he has placed on other people, because it was at that point when the true conflict was resolved. Now that I've somehow ended up at the end of the movie, I guess now is a good time to talk about the other intro scene, the true intro scene. This scene is what truly hooked me with the movie. It barely contains any dialogue or exposition, just Ishida's life after the incident and the words, "a point of the light, the shape of voice." Unlike his past intro, which was noisy, energetic, and youthful, Ishida's life now is quiet, which just shows how much he's changed over the years and how his deafness or silence has shaped his life. After withdrawing some cash and giving it to his mom, he walks going to the right and then stops and tries to kill himself. But he gets stopped after hearing and seeing the fireworks, or as I like to interpret them, a point of the light, a desire to understand, and a reason for living. He stopped his suicide because he wanted to understand Nishimiya before he dies. After finding a reason for living, he continues walking to the right. Throughout the film, Ishida is mostly shown traveling to the right, representing his journey to understand Nishimiya. And when things get in his way, or there's miscommunication with Nishimiya, he travels going to the left. So this intro is basically telling us that this is the start of that journey, a journey to understand. We get a glimpse into his despair and goal through the silence of his life, and I think that is just the perfect hook for a story in which silence and communication play a big role in its morals and themes. In just a few minutes, it already gives us a hint on what those opening words mean. How the point of the light is the desire to understand and communicate, and how the shape of voice isn't just the words we say, but can also be the silence as well. Just like the other intro scene, the same scenario repeats later on in the movie, but instead of Ishida, it's Nishimiya trying to kill herself. They both are slowly getting killed by their deafness, by the silence. Ishida being killed by the silence of others, and Nishimiya being killed by the silence of herself. What I mean by that is how Nishimiya blames herself for everyone's sorrow. She keeps it all inside her, making herself silent. The difference between the two scenes is how they stopped. Ishida stopped because he wanted to understand Nishimiya. He found a point of the light, symbolized by the fireworks. Nishimiya's suicide had way more fireworks than Ishida's, but she didn't stop on her own will. The fireworks in her scene aren't supposed to symbolize Nishimiya finding a point of the light, but instead were meant to symbolize Ishida. It was during Nishimiya's suicide where he realized that he can't live with just understanding Nishimiya alone. He has to communicate and understand everyone. His light is no longer a point but just him and Nishimiya. The light has spread to every character now. That's what the bigger fireworks mean. Him expanding that light to others. That's why in the end of the movie, it didn't say a point of the light anymore. Because the light is more than just a point now. It is now the light that lights up the sky. The light that reveals the shape of voice. That is no longer trapped in the river, but free in the sky. And that's the end of my video. Yeah, sorry if this this video is a bit out of date. Like what I said, Koi no Katachi is like half a year old now, so yeah, it's probably not as hype anymore. But if you enjoyed the video, then feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you want to, even though I don't post that much videos. But if you like my content and you might want to see more of it in the future, then yes, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, leave a comment if you want to discuss about the manga or just want to show your support, or if you just want to shit on me, then yeah, sure, go ahead.